Jake Doolittle is a 23-year-old disabled attention maniac.
Chris Tyson hasn't caused any drama. It's people like you responding to this.
That wields a long list of vague and unique disabilities to garner whatever type of attention/sympathy he wants to take advantage of in any situation.
Muscle wasting and atrophy, osteochondritis dissecans, arthritis of the knee, systemic Bartonellosis, Lyme disease, pink eye. That one doesn't count.
You know that one girl you went to school with that always had a leg brace on, and they would bring in a doctor's note to sit out in gym class, and even though they had the note or whatever, everybody knew that they were playing it up like it was being exaggerated because they liked the attention? That girl is Jake Doolittle. If that girl grew up to just use that as their only skill to get by in life, being pathetic. You see, this is Jake Doolittle dancing. Now, this is obviously pretty shit, right? Well, what if I told you that this young man actually had the knees of a 96-year-old woman?
See those scars on my knees? 9 surgeries later, I can still do it. My traditional Polish dance. Donate to Never Stop, my official nonprofit. All donations are tax deductible, and we now have an employee, so I really need it.
Well, now your mom might clap, right? This is Jake's whole life. He's like Batman if Batman's utility belt was just packed with a bunch of doctor's notes. Like, instead of spraying a shark with shark repellent in that one scene, he would have just pulled out a note that said, "I'm allergic to sharks." Now, like most freaks on the internet, Jake tries to put on a nice guy persona, but he destroys this at least once a year by exposing his true nature of being a manipulative parasite. Last year, it was him trying to expose Ethan Klein for faking an illness for monetary gain. Jake basically saw that Ethan was talking about how he's having weird health problems on his podcast, and he thought to himself, "That's my grift!"
There's only so much sympathy to go around, Ethan. Gonna have to take you out.
Dude was so mad about this, he made a whole video designed to steal back the sickness clout that Ethan had stolen from him. This did not work out. It basically went like this. An extra layer of malice here is the fact that Jake Doolittle uploaded this video going after Ethan when the H3 podcast was on a break. He decided to throw stones when he knew Ethan wouldn't be around to clap back right away. The video stayed up the entire time that they were on break until they came back announcing they were gonna cover Jake's video on the show. What a little fucking worm. He also posted a story on Instagram begging Ethan Klein to please not respond, basically cowering in fear at the consequences of his own actions. "I will do anything to make this stop. The threats telling me to myself and saying I was never sick in the first place is something I cannot handle. I was trying to make a video from the perspective of a sick person and it didn't connect with everyone. I was in the hospital last week after posting the video. I legitimately cannot handle anymore. I apologize to everyone involved." A big part of Ethan's response was exposing Jake Doolittle for stalking and harassing all the members of his crew behind the scenes. He took a particular liking to this one guy, AB, stalking him in real life, claiming to be a photographer to take this photo.
The photo's not that good.
Yeah.
It's a little grainy.
And also publicly berating him while trying to live stream, begging him to come on to his YouTube channel.
So what he would do also is he would donate, like, so that I had, kind of more force me to respond.
Yeah.
When he would send messages. So kept saying, "Come on my channel."
Which for some reason AB eventually agreed to. I think he just didn't want to be made out to be a bad guy. Again, Jake Doolittle's whole thing is feel bad for me, I'm pathetic. Another fun side plot that was realized here was the fact that Jake Doolittle had actually weaseled his way onto the show before. Basically, Jake came out with this story claiming that the D'Amelio sisters didn't pay him for some photos that he took of them. Based on what we know now about how he treated AB, my interpretation of this is that Jake Doolittle was stalking and harassing 2 little girls into taking their photos, and then when he actually got the shots, he sent them the bill, and they were just like, what the f? Who are you? When did you take those? How'd you get into our tree, Jake? Ethan Klein, not knowing any better at the time while covering a story involving the D'Amelio sisters, let Jake call in, where Ethan offered to pay Jake Doolittle the money that he claimed the D'Amelio sisters owed him, where Jake then decided to really push his luck by begging Ethan Klein for a job.
I don't know. But stay on the line. I'm going to send you $500 because the D'Amelio family did it.
If you look over my resume, can you keep your $500?
Stay on the line. Are you in LA?
You hear me groan?
We had a nice... I was groaning in my mind.
This all really solidified that Jake wasn't this nice guy that he was trying to convince everybody that he was, and he was really more of a Jeffrey Dahmer type character.
I just want to take some pictures.
This cry bully mentality would prove to not be an isolated incident. Jake loves to come out swinging until he realizes the people that he's swinging at are willing to swing back. And then he cries and shits himself and ends up in the hospital. Every single time he's in controversy, he somehow ends up in the hospital. I'm so pathetic. Please just let me slander you. You know, you defending yourself is really making my life hard right now. I know my video about you solicited hate towards you from people, but you have to understand, I'm in the hospital right now. I'm such a pathetic little freak that you're actually the bully here for defending yourself. He would do very similar bullshit this year, where he made a video threatening to call out all of his friends that wouldn't give him money for his charity. Also crying that after the H3 drama went down, a lot of his friends in the community didn't want to do work with him anymore. Dude's friends all saw the Ethan Klein drama go down and was like, huh, that sounds like exactly how I met Jake. Oh, you can just tell him to fuck off? I didn't even think of that. Once this video began to get rightfully called out, he deleted it and began copyright striking anybody who would re-upload it. Make no mistake, this is a blatant abuse of YouTube's copyright system. While technically in the right to do this because it is a re-upload of one of his works, he's not doing it to protect his IP. He's already deleted the video. He's doing it to try to stop the conversation about the video. Just like last year, Ethan Klein decided to react to this horrible video from Jake Doolittle live on his podcast. Just like last year, he sends in a super chat to Ethan Klein saying, "Can we please not do this? I'm in the hospital right now."
He says, hey, can this wait? I'm actively in the hospital. Bro, are you crazy? You think you're gonna emotionally manipulate me into not watching this? Are you crazy, bro?
Dude is always in the fucking hospital. By the way, he worded it like there was some emergency occurring. I'm in the hospital right now. That has emergency connotation to it, if that's the word, right? You think something is terribly, terribly wrong. He was in the hospital for pre-op knee scans.
Not only did I go live thinking that I could clear everything up in the span of 20 minutes while waiting for results from knee scans, I also just dug myself a deeper hole.
This was a planned appointment procedure, if you even can call it that. No emergency is happening. There's nothing crazy going on at the moment. But again, he hits him with the, please stop, I'm in the hospital right now. I'm in the hospital. Officer, you have to understand, I'm going to the hospital. I didn't do my homework. In a hospital. Sorry, boss, didn't get that report done. Hospital. He even fired up a live stream while Ethan was live going over his video for extra dramatic effect to really just lay in that he's in the hospital right now.
My 10th and 11th knee surgery. H3 is being a little bitch again. That's good. What really sucks is, like, I know for a fact that I'm going to lose, the subscribers that I gained over the last year because Ethan's going to talk about, he's going to do the same thing that he did,
How do you survive? How can you be so fucking pathetic and live? Not well, evidently. He's always in the hospital. By the way, this guy's charity is a joke. Jake's charity Never Stop gives out $500 to one person to help with medical bills every month. Oh my god, how could you call out charity? What kind of sick bastard would criticize a charity? Listen, it's not that giving $500 to help somebody with medical bills is like a bad thing or not worth doing. It's that Jake greatly over-exaggerates the impact of his work. He makes it sound like there's something about his charity that is unique by it being small, or that there's some level of care that he's able to provide to people that other people can't.
We are a nationally recognized nonprofit. This is a fucking real operation here. There has been no YouTuber who has ever inquired or donated any money to Never Stop. I know that you just put on your close friend story that you're making 15 grand off this brand deal. Hey, I would love the help. My views are down, but you're getting, 50,000 subs a month. What are we doing here? We have the ability to give directly to people. There is no nonprofit that is doing that. We are so small scale that we're able to influence people in a way that no other nonprofit can.
This is just simply not the case. To me personally, it just seems like Jake just wants all of the praise and admiration that is to be expected if you run a charity. He's upset that his rich, famous YouTuber friends won't help him expand his charity, thus expanding his own career as a result. I don't get how in some cases, if people mess up a charity, it's supposed to be excused because they had good intentions. I don't know what your intentions were with the charity. All I know is that you didn't get the job done. And after all this recent drama, people began to look into Jake Dolittle's past, finding some pretty funny things that are definitely worth mentioning. It turns out that when Jake was 15 years old, NBC did a report on him and his stupid brain particularly. What is this supposed to fix? This report goes over how Jake was receiving help from a charity to fly out to California to receive treatment for the fact that his ears and eyes didn't work together. Apparently, when your ears and eyes don't work together, it's called vestibular. It can cause like vertigo symptoms, headaches, make you dizzy, make you not be able to keep your balance well, which is all great or whatever. You have a stupid brain. I feel so bad for you. I just find it funny that at the point this report was given, Jake was already involved with dancing. The guy even says it right in the report. So at what point do you go from dancing on stage to needing a wheelchair and crutches to get around? Even the other reporter seems to be thinking there's something not quite right here.
Jake's a dancer, and he's going to keep dancing when he gets even better.
It's such an interesting condition that he has. I hope he's able to get some relief from that.
It seems to be pretty common for people that interact with Jake in real life to think that he's at least exaggerating his situation for clout. Jake talks about this even more in an article that he wrote titled Disability Discrimination. Part of this article is basically just Boogie 2988 levels of storytelling.
In middle school, I started to fully understand what discrimination is. One day, I showed up to school in a wheelchair because I woke up and couldn't walk. I rolled up to the front door and the nurse greeted me by rolling her eyes. She pulled my mom aside and told her that my wheelchair was too much of a hassle and a distraction. The entire school thought I was faking my pain for attention. They hastily brought the wheelchair lift down from the top of the staircase, brought me to a meeting room and put me there for 6 hours with some worksheets. They didn't allow me to be with friends. I don't even remember if I ate lunch that day because nobody checked on me during that time. That was the last day I went to middle school. There was no point. I was in pain, I would get put by myself all day, and my teachers were failing me because I had 4 doctor appointments a week, and that was too difficult for them.
Yeah, so that didn't happen. The scary part is after that, he got homeschooled, which really makes me think maybe this isn't a Jeffrey Dahmer situation. It's more of a Gypsy Rose situation. Moral of the story here is, don't be disabled.